Ladies and gentlemen, mentors, mentees, colleagues, invited guests, good morning and welcome to the conclusion of the HSE Mentorship Programme. In September last year, we started the journey knowing that mentorship is it's a tried and trusted model that works to support knowledge, skills and competence. And we knew from your feedback from people all over the country that people were feeling overwhelmed by the changes brought by the Act and had said, look, we need a space that we can safely just work through these complex issues. So that's where the idea for the mentorship programme came about. So with that, 44 brave mentors, most of whom are in the room, and 510 mentees stepped into the ADM mentorship programme breach. And with from every CHO, from every hospital group, from some funded HSE funded agencies and from NGO organisations.
In the road to 2015, a long road to 2015, there was we saw the really good influence of NGOs and DPOs, disabled persons organisations in particular, who urged government, and this went through several governments, to put into the Act the principles that we see there now, which are very reflective of the language of UN CRPD and which advocate so strongly for that person-centred model based on will and preferences.
A lot of the challenges, and all you mentioned, they're not due to ADM, but it has shone this big torch on a lot of dusty areas of practice. And that includes, we mentioned in here in jurisdiction, detention, liberty issues. We do need a new law, but it's absolutely correct that's taken enormously seriously, and it wasn't for way too long.
Well, my experience with the mentorship programme has been, really, really brilliant experience. I think even from the very start, it was so well organised and ran with mentor support from experienced, qualified mentors. It just gave us a good start, and it got a lot of experienced people around the table with a lot of different backgrounds, different experience, and all learned from each other very well throughout the programme.
And it brought the Act, I suppose, into reality in terms of both the opportunities to support people in terms of their human rights, but also from a practitioner perspective to work together to look at some of the solutions that we can bring to individuals.
So there were 44 learning sets, again, all over the country, who had an average of between 10 to 12 meetings. Mentors themselves had 11 monthly meetings with Aileen and Kathy. There was 2 in-person seminars, 12 Friday fortnightly meetings to support the mentors.
So really the programme has made a massive difference to my work, including that feedback that we've gotten from all of the case studies that we've done. So that feedback, I've been able to pass that information on to my colleagues, and then that's really useful feedback then that we can develop and improve, the service users' quality of life.
Just hearing other professionals' perspective, because you just don't get that opportunity. We all kind of work in silos, so everybody's very busy, and the fact that the group I had was a cross-section, it wasn't just one specific group in terms of a particular sector. So the benefit for me was hearing different perspectives from different settings, from different sectors, from across the life cycle of people. So that was the gift to me particularly, yeah.
The most rewarding aspect, without doubt, for me was the fact that people were helping each other with on-the-ground cases. So with on-the-ground practice, learning from other people's experience, and essentially just supporting decision-making for people.
For me, I think it was the network building and the relationships. So as a group of mentees and a mentor for the mentees, we were able to connect with each other and meet in person, which then also helped harness better working relationships or foster better working relationships, will only build and support the implementation of ADM.
It was a very supportive programme. We got great support from the national leads, from Kathy and Aileen. We had monthly meetings, fortnightly meetings. There was fantastic resources shared with ourselves. We felt very supported and safe in our role as a mentor to try and support staff on the ground in navigating and I suppose embracing this new piece of legislation.
So really supporting family members into their role as assisted decision makers, validating that relationship but also providing them with a new framework to see their family member and themselves in relationship to the Assisted Decision Making Act in terms of will and preference, and in terms of, you know, the how people make decisions, whether somebody agrees or not. It's an individual's decision. So that has been huge. And then having information to provide to family members, concrete information around everybody's roles and responsibilities and rights.
I've learned the need for us all to reconsider our practice to ensure that this legislation does the job it's intended to in terms of strengthening the rights of people with disability. And that's what's motivated me to stay the course and to stay committed to the programme.
It really gives me the great confidence to know that there are people like that working to try and get this act in as reality, to support the rights of people to be seen as decision makers, to support our human rights as disabled people.
So the most rewarding thing that I've experienced from this programme is it's just learning. I've learned so much from, you know, the different perspectives of other people, you know, from the other staff within other jobs and other workplaces. And I've really learned a lot, you know, from those different perspectives. So it's really interesting, and I think it's really helped me develop myself within my own work, you know, that I can actually become a little bit more confident as well.
The expertise that we were able to get as a group and harness as a group and bring it back to frontline practice, so we could then look to support the implementation with the people that we work on the front line, because really that's the benefit, that's the payoff, and that it really helps support people with decision making, enhance their lives and improve their quality of life.
It's because of this mentorship programme, and only through this mentorship programme, that we will continue to see an improvement and a growth in our confidence as a society, and for us in the health services public servants, in how we implement the intentions of that legislation as well as the prescription of that legislation.
So in closing this first year, as I say, let us celebrate the great success of the programme. Let's reflect on what we've learned, and let's turn our focus then to year 2. And together I think we will continue to lead the way in promoting a society, and certainly a health service, where individuals have the capacity and the opportunity to shape their own future.